The reason these chairs are empty is because we want to bring people up who have submitted their ideas and their videos to Planet Forward to talk to you and give you an opportunity to talk to them and assess their ideas. So now, please welcome Rich Talipsky, Kyle Toomey, Sherry Boshert, and Farhan Ahmed. Come on up. Sherry and Farhan. Have a seat. Thank you all for being with us, and thanks to Carol Browner for, I mean, who knows where this is going to go. Rich Talipsky, you're from?
Portsmouth, Rhode Island.
Portsmouth, Rhode Island. And Kyle, you shot the video that we're going to see, right?
That's correct.
Let's see what we see.
These are 40-foot anchor bolts that go 40 feet down and actually anchor into the bedrock. And they're all the way around here that anchor this entire foundation. And then there's this big flange, that a flange on that tower section will go on here and get bolted down on here. And that actually is what holds the turbine down. This is the main transformer over here, and this actually steps the 13.4 kilovolts electricity from the turbine generator down to the voltage that the electrical grid uses. Depending on the amount of wind, we expect that to run to between 20 and 25%, which is going to give us about 3 million kilowatt hours per year of electricity. We think the first year of operation, we're actually going to gain about $100,000 profit after the entire payment of mortgage payments and operating costs are done. And over the 20-year useful life of the turbine minimum, we think it's going to be over $3 million positive revenue for the town.
What should Carol Browner take back to the White House as she talks to towns and cities around the country?
Well, number one, it was an economic decision. We were an economic development committee. If this was going to cost the town money, it was a non-starter. So we took a look at whether we had the wind resource and whether we could have the economic model to make it profitable. And then the next thing was to convince the people. There was a lot of not in my backyard things. So we launched a public information campaign to give people a wide range of information. I think one of the things that kind of sold it was we got a clean renewable energy bond.
What's that? Carol, what's a clean renewable energy bond?
They got the ability to get money at a very low interest rate.
That's right. It was zero interest.
Zero interest
and
rate.
This is available to communities across the country. So if another community want to do this, this is a model?
That's correct. We had to propose a project. So we had to do our whole feasibility study and convince the federal government that it was feasible. Once we had that, then we got a $2.6 million of the $3 million we needed for the turbine to finance our turbine.
How much of this is happening across the country now?
There's lots of it happening, and there's even more starting to happen. In the Recovery Act, we created a whole nother loan guarantee program for bigger scale projects, for businesses who want to really build the big solar and
what do you hope will
wind
come out
farms.
of that?
That's part of how we're going to double the the amount of renewables.
But is it more diffuse power like this? Is it more
both.
the small things, or are
It's
you looking
both.
to? Is this how we fund the large renewable?
We have money
farms?
to fund the really large stuff. There are still programs to fund some of the smaller programs. We just moved almost $6 billion to the states for programs like this. A lot of money out there right now for clean energy.
Kyle, you shot this thing?
Yeah, myself and a couple other people from there too.
What was it like being out there and being up here now?
Well, the most important thing is it's really windy, and so that means that there's a lot of wind that can be harvested. But while we were up there, Rich mentioned that it's a community, members of community coming together and finding a way to make it happen.
Sherry Boshert, you're here from San Francisco.
Yes.
You're a plug-in hybrid devotee, and let's take a look at your video.
We already have the technology to move our transportation away from fossil fuels. In fact, at my house, we've been doing it for years. See the red house behind me? That's our home in the foggy part of San Francisco. And see the solar panels on top? Yeah, they work in the fog. We make enough electricity to offset the cost of powering our house and our electric car. You're sitting in a Toyota RAV4 electric vehicle, one of thousands made by all the major car companies over the last decade. But then they stopped production. We can get new plug-in vehicles on the road if consumers demand it, and if politicians demand that the auto industry retool to give us the plug-in cars that we need.
Well, there's a lot going on the auto industry front right now, as we well know. What do you want to say to Carol Browner?
Well, Carol, I haven't bought gasoline for 7 years and 70,000 miles. So our message is, this is not new technology. We can do it. We just need the political will to make it happen. And I'm pleased that President Obama campaigned on the pledge to put 1 million plug-in hybrids on the road by 2015. We now need to accelerate that process.
Well, we agree that we need to get many more plug-in hybrids on the road. We included in the stimulus act. You guys are going to get tired of how much money we got for all of these things, but it was an important part of our belief in how we bring the economy back for some of the infrastructure around plug-in hybrids. I mean, you're able to, I guess, recharge at home. You drive a distance that recharge works for, but for some people, we need some other recharging alternatives.
One of the criticisms we've heard of plug-in vehicles is that they're too expensive. Consumers can't handle them. And it doesn't make economic sense for the car companies. But that's only if we stay in the old mindset of looking at these as separate sectors, the transportation sector and the energy sector. And I'm hoping the new administration and the Congress and all of us think of those together.
That does require a lot of work. I think the vision is there. That's the first step in the process. I think we have a very antiquated regulatory system when it comes to how energy moves around the country. We have 50 states with 50 different views. We're going to need to change that. We're going to need to rechange sort of the rewards, if you will, within the electric energy. You know, we have states like California where they have decoupled the earnings for the utility companies from the sale.
This gets very complicated.
But you know what? It's all good stuff at the end of the day because it ultimately plug-in hybrids are all part of breaking our dependence on foreign oil, a very important part of doing that.
And baby steps, Frank. Give us the cars. We'll work on the rest. It's doable now. We've got to get started.
Farhan, welcome.
Thank you.
You're from?
I'm from Bangladesh.
From Bangladesh, but you go to school
in Middlebury, Vermont.
Middlebury, Vermont. And you and 4 team members? Or
4 others.
4 other friends put together probably one of the more unique videos that we have seen at Planet Forward, and I would say that as of this moment, it is the most viewed video on the site. It takes a little imagination, and it takes us on a little journey. So here it is.
Hey, boy, wake up. Just so there are no surprises, you are in a dream.
Who are you?
I, my friend, am an iceberg. My kind is melting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, you should be, because when we do, you're coming along for the dive.
What do you mean?
Come on, I'll show yous. Hit it! It's bright, the lights, it looks no more like night. They glow. How so? We're burning all that coal. And when you try back home again, I melt a little more. So Bangladesh is going under. By 1, by 2, you melt me, I drown you. I'm mad, I'm hot, I'm scared, but you are not. And when you burn those fossil fuels, I melt a little more. So Bangladesh is going under. When I melt, the sea levels rise and countries like yours will disappear from the map.
But I can't swim.
If people don't start doing something, you're gonna have to learn, buddy. Buddy.
Iceberg! Iceberg!
Now I should say, in fairness, that's just a clip of your animation. You can see the whole thing at Planet Forward on PBS.org. It must strike you as a little unusual to be sitting here.
Absolutely.
To put it mildly. What were you trying to get across in that? And you're the Bangladeshi boy there.
Yeah, the token representative, I guess, of the group. But we are a group of 5, and we're from 4 different continents of the world. And we got together in Middlebury College where we started to collaborate on this project. The idea came from, I mean, for me personally, I guess, it was a thought that started, like statistics that I read say by the end of the century, 30 million Bangladeshi refugees would be climate refugees is the term that's used.
If nothing's done.
If nothing is done. So I guess my question would be, there is a movement within the Obama administration to do something, definitely. So how realistic is it, though, with the current policies, that we beat those statistics?
The president has said repeatedly that it is important to him that the United States reestablish itself as a leader on these issues, not just here in the United States in terms of what we're doing, but what we need to do around the world. The President has named the first ever special envoy on climate change. This is a person working in the State Department 24/7 on these issues. There's never been a person doing that, thinking about these issues from the global perspective.
But these are connected issues. I mean, this notion of energy independence. In fact, a colleague, Bob Entman here, wrote a paper that you can see on Planet Forward where he looked at media coverage and the term energy independence, and his contention is that the media are given a big pass, and even, frankly, some political leaders. President Obama's talked about energy independence. We're not energy independent if we've got issues like this going.
Certainly when we look at the consequences, we have to understand that the whole world experiences them. And the pollution, the greenhouse gases that contribute to climate change, to some degree, it doesn't matter where they're generated. We all have to do our part to reduce the volume of these pollutants that we are putting into the air.
So, Carol Browner, what do you take back to the White House from this experience and these citizens' voices and videos you've seen and heard?
There's a tremendous enthusiasm. There's a tremendous desire for change. We don't have to do this alone. We have a lot of friends and people willing to take the first steps necessary, but ultimately we also have to provide the resources and the framework. We can do this. I am very, very confident we can change the energy future of the United States and thereby change the future of the world.
And if you're holding a scorecard, if you're looking at what is actually happening to measure whether we're getting to that energy future, what are you marking us on over the next 4 years, hypothetically?
I want to increase our efficiency. I want to increase renewables. I want more cleaner cars on the road, and I want more green jobs.
Carol Browner, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of those who've spoken up and who've made your voices heard, your videos seen on Planet Forward, which you can access, as I mentioned, on pbs.org. We didn't get to everything here tonight. That's not possible. But we hope and we want this conversation to continue. We can keep citizens involved in this conversation and make your ideas and your views and your opinions heard. Thanks for joining us. From the George Washington University, I'm Frank Sesno, and together we can move the planet forward.
To see more videos and rate your favorites, go to Planet Forward on pbs.org. New videos are posted regularly. Join the discussion, submit a video, help us shape the next show. Planet Forward on pbs.org. Planet Forward is a presentation of the George Washington University Public Affairs Project, which is solely responsible for its content. Funding for Planet Forward was provided by the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation, promoting excellence in journalism worldwide. Knight Foundation focuses on projects with the potential to create transformational change. Noblest, helping clients promote sustainability by reducing emissions, improving energy efficiency, and transforming workplace practices. Noblest at noblest.org. Tawani Foundation. Paul and Brenda Lilly, the Lilly Family Foundation. The 11th Hour Project. And from Phoebe and Rick Peterson.